What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another educational type trading video here. Just wanted to come on because I thought there was an important lesson to be learned here today and this week. You know, I had somebody come on my stream yesterday and they donated while we were playing American Truck Sim. Said they bought some calls in Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. Y'all know AMD, we're gamers. Right? Probably got a Ryzen in your computer right now. But they said they bought calls in AMD, basically meaning they're betting on the stock to go higher. And I told them yesterday I took a short position against AMD, meaning I thought the stock was going to go lower. Now today, AMD is currently down about 4.2%. And I just wanted to talk about why I took that trade, why it's probably not a good idea to be buying stocks when they're up huge. And just sort of reiterate the fact that the stock market is like, it's like real life, man. When you go out, you know, maybe when you go shopping for cars or clothes, maybe you just go out and buy the most expensive thing there is. But if you were smart, you'd go out looking for deals, man. You would wait until there was a deal on something to save money, right? The stock market is no different. It's the only place, though, where people just can't drill it into their brain that you need to look for deals, not go out and buy whatever's hot, whatever's new, whatever's you know, in the news. Because I saw so many news articles yesterday talking about AMD up 150% on the year. How much longer can it go? You know, when you start seeing shit like that, it's over. It's over at that point. But I wanted to show you guys kind of like the longer term chart of AMD and why it's probably not a good idea to be buying up here. I'm not saying it can't go higher. I'm saying the risk reward of buying AMD at 27 as opposed to buying down, you know, at 9. Let me clean up this chart a little bit because I want to show you guys, look at this. I want to show you a conversation I had on Twitter back in April. You know what? I'll superimpose this on the screen so you can see it. So check out this conversation. You can see the date is April 17th. If I was to zoom it in here, that would have been what week? This week here was the week of the conversation, third week of April. You know, I said I haven't looked at it in a while, but we're talking about AMD here. I said that looks bullish as fuck on the weekly to me. You know, he said, I'm not biting, no way. I said I was just recently looking at VEEV, looked just like it. I didn't take it because it's not what I usually trade. Looks a little far gone now, but buying that under 10 with a stop under 9, that's just a big ass bull flag digesting that huge move up. So I'm not going to toot my horn too much. I didn't take this trade. You know what I mean? But I can at least show you like where you want to be looking for stocks to buy as opposed to, you know, waiting until these big moves happen. And this is just the same thing I've talked about in other videos. You guys know price acceptance, price discovery. This was a huge stock in 2016, 2017 early because it ran, look at this, from like $1.74 all the way up to goddamn $16. You know what I mean? Huge move. Everybody was talking about it. But when everybody starts talking about an idea, everybody gets involved. I remember, you know, some people on Twitter talking about they were buying AMD and they were showing their Robinhood accounts and shit. Like, oh, but what happens whenever everyone gets involved in an idea? Things just level off for a while and you start digesting that move. Price discovery leads to price acceptance, and this is one form. You know, it's always going to look a little different. Sometimes you get like a wedge, sometimes it's an ascending triangle. Like, you can't worry too much about the patterns, but just understanding like price structure and why and how stocks move is more important than the fucking triangle or the wedge or the pattern that's developing. But this is what happens, and this is why I was saying if you could buy this under 10, right, and put a stop under 9, that'd be great. Because I knew if you could buy under 10, you're buying at support, right? Because this is where people are buying the stock. And you could put a stop loss under 9 because if this stock was to trade down back then this pattern, all these people buying would have been underwater, right? Think about, I mean, these are people in here buying these stocks. These green and red bars, those are just people, algorithms, hedge funds, whatever they're buying. So if they're buying at 9 to 14, all of a sudden the stock's at 8, what happens? They're losing money. They're trying to sell, bro. They're trying to sell, cut their losses, maybe take profits if they were riding it up on the way here. But that's not what happened. You see, if I would have took my own advice and bought, that price acceptance leads to what? More price discovery. And now it's back in the news. Everybody talking about AMD up 150 cents, or 150%. I got to buy some calls, bet on it to go up. What happens typically at those points? Well, now it's going to lead to more price discovery or price acceptance. I would expect this to sit here and consolidate. And I've got like a moving average plotted on my chart. I really don't use indicators at all, ever. I think they're always like backwards looking, and predicting price movement, anticipating is much more important than looking in the past and trying to find something like this. But you'll see, when you get a stock that's trending up like this, you're never going to get too far away from something like a 20-day moving average. But you can see this thing, I mean, it's just going straight up, just straight up. And those are the opportunities that I think you want to take to look to bet against a stock. And the way you do that, you zoom it into a bit of a lower time frame here. You can sit here and wait on it to just kind of grind up. It's going. You don't really want to get involved yet, but then you start going on like a different angle. You see how we just started going straight up yesterday? And not only that, but you wait for like what you would call a slam. Wait for the slam move. That is a slam from 27 down to 25. That's enough to get people trapped. And that's what ultimately makes stocks trade lower, is you have to get traders and investors buying at awful prices, because then when you start to rally, what do these guys do? Imagine you bought at 27 and immediately you saw that shit fall to 25. You're down 10%. You're like, holy shit, I just lost 10% of my money in 30 minutes. Stock bounces. What do? You sell. Most people sell. They're trying to take break even. That creates downward pressure on the stock. So I ended up waiting for this to kind of confirm a little bit and break down out of this. You would call this like a bearish wedge, but we'll get into all that more later once I build out this service type thing for you guys. I ended up shorting, like I said, 1,000 shares, 25.39. You see the stock is bouncing now. I was up like $1,200 at the start of this video. Now it's 700. But look, longer term, ultimately, I think that's probably a spot where the stock is going to pause. We came back and filled this gap, and now you're starting to bounce a little bit. But I would expect these rallies in the stock to start getting sold and for it to just cool off a little bit, chop traders up. Just to be safe, you've always got to have a backup plan. So if this stock was to make new highs and get back over 27, you know what? I'd probably cover my short position, take the loss, and try to enter back in at a later date. But sooner or later, the thing is going to come down, and it's going to come down, I think, pretty substantially. It was already down 4%. Now it's 2.5% at the start of the video. It could be down 4% again by the end of the day. You never really know. But just wanted to come on and show you guys kind of when to not buy stocks, because even if it does make money, if you're buying calls on AMD at 26, I mean, you're buying into like a volatility spike, so you're paying more for implied volatility. You're paying so much for the stock. Like, why pay 27 when you could pay 9? You know what I mean? You want to look for patterns like this. And I was comparing it to Vive, because you'll see Vive had the same thing. You came up like this. You had the price discovery move. It sat there and accepted for almost a year, price acceptance. These are the points you want to be looking to buy stocks. You want to buy at support during price acceptance, because that leads to price discovery. And sooner or later, when you get up here, this thing's going to cool off again. And that's what stocks look like. Even if you don't follow stocks at all, you look at a chart, it kind of looks like this, right? Like healthy charts. That's what they do. You get a little one, and then you might go down, and then you come back up. That's the nature of stocks, man. That's how they trade. Don't ask me why or how. I just know that's how they fucking do. That's what happens. So hopefully you didn't buy any AMD. Hell, it's only down 1.7% now, so I better end the video before that shit goes green. But I'm short from all the way up here, so we'll see. You can also look at like volume profile too. I'm gonna show you guys so much shit, dude. It's gonna be worth it. Now, I'm gonna be honest. It is gonna be a paid thing, because for one, I want people that are serious about learning how to trade, and paying for education I don't think is a bad thing. I paid for a mentorship, and it has paid for itself thousands of times over. You know what I mean? So, I'll teach you guys about volume profile and kind of how to read that, and balance and price structure and all these different types of things. You know, we'll talk setups. I'll give you guys ideas week to week, and I think it'll be good for those of you who are interested in getting in trading. Like I said, I'm working on something. It may take a little bit, but in the meantime, you know, I'll be posting some YouTube videos like this when there's some lessons to be learned. Hopefully you learned a little something from it today. And yeah, we should have some gaming videos going up later. Fortnite updates out. I'm about to hop on, get my game on, and then we'll come back maybe with some American Truck Sim later tonight. I don't know. Trying to get that Phantom truck that we played with yesterday, or we were about to play with. Trying to get the truck so we can stream something a little bit new. We'll see how it goes, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned here in the near future for more information on how you guys can trade alongside me and learn a little bit about how I play this game called the stock market. It's a difficult one, but it's very rewarding. I guarantee it. And it's a lot of fun at the same time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you right back here later today. Once again, if you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, just refresh it and give it one more chance. And as always, guys, I don't really have